Well, it was a scramble, but we are all set up. I already know some things I'm going to be telling you all that I'll be do different the next one, but we're here and we're set up. Not too bad. Thank God I had David to help me. So we're ready.
Want me to bring anything back to the truck or anything?
What an amazing day we had at the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference vendor section. First craft show I have done in about 10 years. And I'd say 10, maybe it might be 8, but it's around there, 8 to 10 years. And I was nervous, like very, very nervous. Like when it comes to things you make, I make. When it comes to things I make, I am probably my worst critic. I know I am. But I also am nervous that it's just not good enough because I see other people's work and it is stunning. It is amazing. It could be like framed and put on a wall as art when I see some people's work. So I was nervous and I said, if I just sell one thing, I would be happy. Well, I did amazing. I sold way more than one thing. I even sold some of my shawls. I did really, really, really well. I was in tears a couple of times because I had people actually stop and tell me, one lady, these were her words, I had a shawl, one of my favorites that I had made on, which I sold on my mannequin setup. Right here, my mannequin. And she stopped and told me that my work was exquisite. And I was like almost in tears. I was like, all I could just stumble out was thank you very much. And so many people stopped to tell me my work was amazing. It was beautiful. I just, David was laughing at me because he says, I told you, because I just couldn't get over the comments. It was really, really great. I did learn some things I'm going to share with you if you're thinking about doing a craft fair. And we're just going to have a little chat while I sip my tea. And I did do notes, so I would not forget some of the things I wanted to talk about. That's one thing about this new channel of mine. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more laid back. I'm not going to constantly edit every single little thing out if I stumble or anything like that. I'm just trying to be a more relaxed person, and that's how I'm going to be changing this, how I do this channel. And it might fall into my other YouTube channel also, which I think it is starting to. I'm sorry I'm saying a lot. I do that a lot and it drives me crazy when other people do it, and now I'm doing it. So I'm going to try to stop doing that. I almost did it there. But yes, so I have some things I want to talk to you about. So as I said, this was the first craft fair I have done in a very long time. I watched so many YouTube channels, went on Pinterest, reached out to my friends, Tasha, who has been doing craft fairs for a long time. Like, she's crazy busy. It seems like from June until November, she has gone every weekend doing a craft fair. I don't know if I'd ever get into that quick. One, I am not a fast crocheter. It does take me a while to make things. So, sorry, I had the hiccups there. So I don't think I could ever get enough stock built up to do a craft fair every single weekend for like 6 months. But I reached out to her for help because I figured she was an expert, and she also had a table there at the conference. So thank you, Tasha, for all your help. And what I think what really helped is that Tasha does knit and quilting, and let me tell you, amazing work. But she does different things than I do, even with my crochet, and I was the only crocheter there. I think that definitely helped with sales, not having as much competition. So that was definitely a plus. So I guess one of my first tips would be to find out if there's going to be other crocheters or whatever you're making at the craft fair you want to go to, and find out if they're making the same things. So that would probably be my first thing. One of the things that I had several people say to me, friends and strangers, that I did not charge enough for the things I was selling, which I've never had anyone complain. You don't think you'd hear anybody complaining about being too low in price, but several people let me know that I needed to charge more. I am not trying to become a millionaire. Sometimes I feel like I put too high a price on things. And that leads me to my next note, is that I don't put enough value on my own work. So I am maybe reassessing a few things. The way I've always priced things, I try to do twice the amount of yarn. So if the yarn costs me $10, I charge $20 for whatever I'm making. And does that mean I'm not getting paid for my time? Most likely. But you also have to understand the area you're in. It's one of the reasons I don't make baby blankets. I only do baby blankets and things like that if they're a gift for people, because I would have to charge too much money to make back just the yarn alone in a baby blanket. Depending on what kind of yarn you make, for instance, it could cost you $60 in yarn just to make a beautiful baby blanket, depending on what you're using. You might be able to get away with, let's say, you know, even $30 in yarn if you can, which I have yet to make one in $30. Even buying budget yarn, you're still going to need several skeins. And yarn's not exactly cheap anymore. You can get great deals, but still in it. So I would have to say 60 to 70 for a baby blanket. Nobody will pay that, at least in my experience. Nobody will pay $60 to $70 for a homemade baby blanket. But they'll go to the mall and pay 80 or 90 at some high-end mall. But anyway, so I know I don't charge for my time. And if it's something that was something that was a little more intricate or did take a little bit longer, then I might do 2.5. I would charge $75 if it was a little more intricate. My shawls, I wanted to charge $75, but I was really worried I wouldn't get that for them because they do take a bit of time and they take a lot of yarn. And I use quality yarn, like nice yarn, to make those shawls. But I priced them at $60, and I did sell a couple, which I was, you know, the children ones I charge around $25 to $30, depending on what yarn I'm using. But I figured I at least made a little bit off of them. I definitely got my yarn costs back and a little extra. So maybe I should have. I should charge more, but truly, I also do this because I love crocheting. It gives me something to do. I love working with it. It makes me feel like, you know, gives me another creative outlet that I desperately need because I cannot draw or paint or anything like that. And I can't wear 25 shawls. So, you know, if it helps me make at least make sure I'm making a profit somewhat, because you don't want to break even, because that's not really the point. But I did sell some, so I was really shocked. So that is another thing I've learned at the craft fairs, that I don't put enough value on my work. Now, does that mean I'm going to go through everything and jack everything up? No, I'm not. And there might be a couple of things I do a few adjustments on. And there's some things I won't make anymore because it's not worth it for me. I did sell 2 amigurumi chickens that I made, and I pretty much priced them for what it cost me to make them. And that's why I only made 2, and that's why I probably won't make any more. Amigurumi, to me, is only going to be probably going forward. If somebody specifically orders something, I let them know the price. If they agree to pay it, then I'll make it for them. But for the most part, it's going to be gifts, because I find that is very hard to price. Because for me anyway, amigurumi can take a long time. If you don't know what amigurumi is, my little chicken friend here, that is amigurumi. Basically, it's stuffies. So, put him back there. You understand? Yeah, so that's probably something I won't make again, like it was said, unless I take orders for them, because it's just, and it's hard to know if people will buy them. And like I said, it takes, because it's not just yarn, it's stuffing, it's usually safety eyes, except, you know, it could be little props that go with them. It could be a lot involved in amigurumi. So it's for me anyway, it's hard to price that, because it gets expensive. I think it does anyway. I definitely know going forward I need another 6-foot table. So I had 1 6-foot table and 1 3-foot table, and I really honestly could have used 2 more 6-foot tables. So I'm just going to put up here real quick. This is what my display looked like, and I wanted to take more footage of the day, but literally we were late getting set up because there was a little bit of confusion where the vendors were going to be setting up. So I had 45 minutes to set up. and get things out before they opened the doors to everybody. So and once we opened the doors, it was pretty much steady the whole day. And so I didn't get as much footage as I would like. And, but this, this is what it looked like. So I had L. What I would like to have is basically a U. I guess I would like to have a 6-foot table here, 6-foot table here, and 6-foot table here. And I would sit in the middle. That is what I would like to have going forward. Tables are crazy. My one 6-foot table I actually got at the thrift store for I think $15, and she was in like rough shape. David fixed her up a little bit for me, and then we covered up any imperfections with tablecloths. So that was a great deal. My 3-foot table I have had forever. This has been a crafting table. This has been a seedling planting table. This has been holding tomatoes table. This has been a lot, and I love this table, but it's really too small. I've been pricing 6-foot tables because I would definitely have one more, if not 2 more, and I am finding them over $100. So I am on the hunt in the next few weeks to find at least 1 more, if not 2 more 6-foot tables at a good price. And there's a reason I need them, and I'll tell you that at the end of the video here. So yeah, so I definitely would like to have more tables because I put out a majority of things, but I couldn't put out everything I wanted to. Some things end up staying in the totes, and they didn't really come out. Some things I had to replenish because I sold them. But yeah, I definitely, because you can always, if you don't need another table, you can always take all the tables with you and you find out, oh, I guess I didn't need it. Oh, well, at least it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it. So that's one thing I learned. I definitely need more tables. I also need better ways of displaying things. And I knew this going in. Again, this was kind of a test craft fair to see how things would go. Like my shawls, the best way I could display them, I thought, was hanging them on hangers. Well, it got crazy windy. We had beautiful weather, don't get me wrong. It was cool in the morning, but it ended up getting quite nice in the afternoon. But we did have a breeze pick up, and when it picked up, it would come through the awning like crazy and knock all the shawls off the hangers. So I need to find another way. I can't get 10 mannequins because that's just crazy. So I would need to find another way of hanging things. I know you can buy these things that attach to tables and you could hang them. That might be an option, but display is very important for people to see. And I mean, it worked. I actually sold one off the mannequin that I took, because I did take my mannequin with me. I sold the one off her, and I was able to put another one on top of her. So that's the best. Honestly, that was the nicest way to display. But I can't have 10 mannequins because that was just crazy. I'd have nowhere to store them and things like that. But I have to come up with another way. I'm going to be brainstorming. If you have any suggestions, please put it down in the comments. I am open to all suggestions on anything I am talking about today. I will take them all gladly. Yeah, so I need more shelf displays. I actually picked up this little wooden one that I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video here at the dollar store. It did break in moving, but it wasn't a big thing. One of the slats just broke, but I was able to still like kind of lay it on the sides of the display case, or display stand, so I was able to hold a few things. So David might be making a few things for me. He had a couple good ideas too for displays while we were sitting there that he's going to try and get built for me. So yeah, that is, because things all laying flat, it's hard for people to really look at them and see them, and there's a few things that lay flat, but I had a lot of things that I had to lay flat, and because I didn't have a lot of room, I really couldn't put out, like for my neck cowls, neck scarves, I had a lot in different colors, and I couldn't put them all out. So that kind of, I think, hurt a bit. So display, I learned that's very important. I also need to remember, I need more props for displaying. And by that, I mean, like my cast iron pan handle covers. I thought those would be very popular because several of the ladies in my homesteading group have loved them. And I thought, this is a homesteading conference. Chances are a lot of people are cooking with cast iron, but a lot of people didn't know what they were in the little basket I had. Even though I had a tag on them I had a symbol of a cast iron pan, and I put cast iron pan handle covers on the label. I sold only a couple of them, and they were very inexpensive. I sold two for $3. a lot of people didn't know what they were, and I think if I'd had like a small cast iron pan with me, I could have displayed them better, and maybe that would have brought people's attention to, oh, that's clever, that's what those are. So I do need more props for things to make it easier. And I'm thinking like I know the dollar store sells like mini cast iron pans for like $4. I would never necessarily cook with them, but they might make for a great display for the cast iron pan handles. So yeah, that definitely is something going forward. I sold a lot of my little stuffed pumpkins with the cinnamon stick for the stem. I sold a lot of them. I actually could have made more because I have a lot of this yellowy color left that wasn't as popular as the tweed ones, which are my favorite, and the orange, the true pumpkin-y orange, and the more like a darker orange, anything like that. They were definitely more popular, and I definitely could have sold more of them. So maybe remembering seasonal things definitely are more popular. So I did sell a lot of them. I sold dishcloths. I sold a lot of dishcloths. I sold a lot, not as many of my little pumpkin hats as I thought I would, which is funny because last year I sold like 162 just on Facebook Marketplace. But, and I didn't sell one single apple hat this year. So I might need to get them out on Marketplace and see if they'll sell. If not, I'll hang on to them until maybe next year's season. So the reason I need more tables is because things went so well at this craft fair that I have put in to have a table at a November Christmas craft fair. It's the first weekend in November, so it's not that far away. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead and I've applied. They wanted pictures. I sent pictures. I haven't heard back yet, which is making me a little bit nervous, but I'm staying positive that they're going to accept me. So I am busy making Christmas stockings. So this is one Christmas stocking. I hope you can tell, if it's looking, that it's sparkly. So the white and the red is sparkly. So I've started making them. I made all of our, my family, my nieces, my parents, the kids, and David and I made all our stockings years ago, and they hold up beautifully because you can wash them too. So you can wash them. You just can't dry the sparkly yarn. And I love them because they stretch really good. I think they're beautiful. If I want to toot my own horn here, I just think they're so pretty. So I'm going to make a bunch of Christmas stockings and a few more seasonal things on top of the other things, like my mug holders and my lip balm holders and dishcloths, things like that. That's one thing that didn't sell that I thought would sell, and even my friend Tasha was surprised, is my lip balm holders. I was only asking $3 a piece for them, and I think they'll make great stocking stuffers. And because I have so many, and I'm also thinking, you can let me know down in the comments because I'm looking for feedback here, if I could buy some lip balms in bulk, I'd have to up the price to probably maybe $5 for the lip balm holders, including, because I just would ask for my money back for the lip balms. I wouldn't be asking any more for them. And putting lip balms in them, and if that would sell better at $5, because I can get the lip balms for around $1.85. So my $3 plus $1.85 would be $4.85, so about $5. I guess I'd make a little bit off the lip balms. I thought they'd be, because Grace and I love them. We each have several that we put on our purse or even on our zipper on our coats. So it's right handy. So those things I'm going to be taking to the craft fair, and maybe some snowman hats for the little ones and things like that. But yeah, so I'm going to try another craft fair. So the craziness has already started. Like literally Monday, I started making the Christmas stockings. I'm working on a second one right now. I'd have another one done by now, but I was trying a different pattern, and it ended up taking so much yarn that I would have to charge a lot for these Christmas stockings, and I just don't think people would pay that. And by a lot, I mean like around $40, $40 to $45, because it was just eating yarn. So luckily this pattern doesn't take as much yarn, so I can keep them a little bit more reasonable and still, you know, make myself some money, which would help for Christmas. Yeah, I all in all, I am pretty darn happy with how it went. I met some people that from my other YouTube channel that let me know they watch me on YouTube, and it's always weird when people say that to me. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond, but I just say, oh, thank you. I appreciate you watching or something like that. The comments, though, that people gave me just like really, really, it touched my heart, and it really did give me a boost. I thought, okay, maybe I am not half bad at this crochet thing. So that's it, friends. That is how my first craft fair in a decade. I'm pretty happy because the ones I've done before did not go well at all. They did not do well at all. I do think in the last 10 years, there's been certainly a lot more appreciation for homemade and buying from a local person. When you are buying from a home business such as me, or when you're watching even a YouTube channel, at least in my experience, I'm going to consider that a home business because I do all that from my home for the most part. You're buying from someone that is a home business. You're help paying for dance lessons. You're help paying for hockey equipment. You are help paying for, that new winter coat maybe the child, somebody needs in the family. It might even be going towards a light bill, the gas bill. Like it's things like that that you are directly blessing a home business with things that are desperately needed or wanted, that they're able to pay for that month. So I think there's definitely been a big turnaround in people seeing that. So maybe that's why the craft fair was so successful this past weekend, and hopefully the one in November will be just as successful, and you'll see me as a crazy lady over the next 6 weeks while I get ready for that. We'll see you all very soon, and just thank you all for joining me here and helping me get this channel going. It is so much fun to talk about yarn and tea and just things I love, and to have and realize that I'm not the only crazy yarn lady around.